Wow, what a crowd. I have to tell you, it is so great to be here in Iowa, and it reminds me of my hometown. I am Perry Johnson, and I am running for President of the United States. And I might as well let you know that I am what is considered an ultra-conservative. I am pro-life, pro-Second Amendment, anti-woke, anti-China, and I know that I'm probably going to get killed by Christie and Pence, but I think it is ridiculous that we're sending $113 billion over to the Ukraine when we're going broke here. Now, many people call me the Ross Perot running as a Republican because, as you know, I am centrally focused on one theme. That is the economy. And right now, we are not only going broke, we are broke because we are $32 trillion in debt. That is $610 a month for each family just in the interest. But instead of changing all and everything going on in America, I am going to tell you right now, I think we have the greatest country the world has ever known, and I intend to keep it that way. When I'm elected president, there are several things that are going to happen immediately. Number one, immediately we will implement my 2-cent plan because we are going to freeze the budget and cut 2 cents out of every dollar of discretionary spending. I want to be at a point where we can say that all Americans live a great life, and I'm tired of the government always talking about how they're spending money instead of talking about how they should be cutting taxes. I think it's nuts. But number two, never again will a minor have transition therapy. And number three, I know you're not going to like this. I announced this the last 3 months, and some people have come on board, but I am going to shut down the Department of Education. You have to realize that right now, only about literally 8 cents out of every dollar is going to grades K through 12, and that is unacceptable. I say we just ship that money over to the kids, parents, and let them spend it the way they want. That is, by the way, $68 billion. I say we get rid of 87,000 of the IRS agents. And number four, I know I've taken a lot of heat for this, but I have some people that have started to come on board on this too. I'm going to shut down the FBI. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm getting a little tired of this two-system that we have. We have a system of justice that isn't fair. It's one-sided. I think it's kind of amazing that Hunter Biden got $1.4 million for his paintings. I guess he's going to be the next Picasso. We have to understand that the Bidens had shell companies that got them $10 million, and we're doing nothing. We know that Biden said he didn't talk to any of Hunter Biden's clients, yet we find out it's over 200, and 200 to me seems more than one. So I am recommending that we start impeachment proceedings against Joe Biden. I know a lot of people won't go along with this, but I know one person who probably will. Vivek will. When I announced on the 21st that we should immediately pardon Trump, it took him about 11 days, but he agreed with that. When I've been talking about closing down the Department of Education, he now agrees with that. And he also agrees that we should shut down the FBI. So I think he's going to go along with this one too. But I don't think you can vote for anyone unless you know something about it. And I'm going to tell you, I grew up in a middle-class family. My dad was a pilot in World War II. My mom was a nurse in the Army WACs, and they met at a New Year's Eve party. That was the best day of my life. They loved this country. more than life itself, and that's how I feel too. And they taught me from the time I was born that in America you can do anything, it's up to you. Now, I got a job after graduate school. In fact, I was getting eviction notices because I couldn't pay my rent, but I got a job at Borg Warner in the auto industry in the 80s. And back then, the Japanese had come in with tremendous quality. Well, I had a background in mathematics, and I thought I knew how to solve the problem. And what I did was introduce statistical process control on the line, and we systematically ironed out the variation. And I started at the beginning of the process, and you know, in 4 or 5 years, we had the best quality in the world. Now, I said, why not quality as a way of life? And I wrote a book on ISO 9000, the quality standard. And that quality standard is now a way of life all over the world. And Perry Johnson registrars at Perry Johnson Laboratory Accreditation do business in 61 countries around the world. And I live the American dream. I have the most wonderful wife on the planet. I have 3 wonderful kids, and my oldest started college this year. And I want them to have the American dream available to them. And I say we need to change things. There are some things that are just absolutely critical if we are going to survive. One of those is that we have to recognize that we must look out for the future of our kids. And I do not believe that we should be talking about cutting Social Security. I think that's a huge mistake. I say we start cutting expenses. Wouldn't you rather have the money yourself? Come on! This is nutty. You know, Washington doesn't want me. Who wants an efficiency expert in Washington? You've got a situation where they say you have to have 40,000 donors to get on the debate stage. And so now what I'm doing here is I'm going to have a concert, big and rich, on August the 12th here in Iowa for all my donors. If you donate $1, donate 50 cents, you go to that concert. It's a thank you. I will say that it has been just a joy to campaign here in Iowa because I have people that are just like the people where I grew up. And we live in a country unlike any country the world has ever known. And I want you to sit back and think about how really fantastic we are. We started out with a group of people that had a dream that they could build a country unlike anything in the world. Why? Because they wanted freedom. Freedom. They crossed an ocean for freedom. And then, in order to get that freedom, they had to fight the most powerful army in the history of the world. They had to do this without weapons. We weren't even allowed guns, muskets. They did it with a fledgling general by the name of George Washington. And you know what? They did the impossible. They beat the most powerful army in the history of the entire world. And you know, we look all over. And I want you sometimes to sit back and think about how wonderful it is to be part of this great heritage, because we are a country unlike any country. Once America is gone, there is no more America. And we're not going to let that happen. We're not going to let that happen because we have done things no one has ever done. You look at this and you think about us, the world looks at us and they say, wow, by golly, it's amazing. You look at Carnegie, you look at Vanderbilt, you look at Edison, you look at Henry Ford, you look at Elon Musk, and the world says, wow, this is a country unlike any country in the history of the world, and by golly, we're going to keep it that way. We are going to continue to be the greatest country the world has ever known. God bless Iowa, and God bless the United States of America. Enjoy life.